Full moon is about time for release, of letting go what is no longer serving us. It is often also associated with harvest and celebration and seeing clearly what we have been tending to and growing for the earlier parts of the cycle. Full moon is a time for gratitude. And if the new moon is the inhale, the full moon is the exhale, the release, the fullness. Neither phase is better than the other phase. You need both to keep breathing, right? You need the inhale and the exhale. And she just represents a different part of our cycle that is also glorious. The full moon's a time to feel and be aware of the deep gratitude for the many blessings that you have and everything that you've experienced in your current cycle. It's also a powerful time to recommit yourself to projects and relationships that mean the most to you. This is one of the reasons it's amazing that we get to have a full moon and a new moon every month, because we get busy. Our world seems to be busier and faster and crazier than ever. So every month, there is this full moon marker as a time to recommit yourself to the projects that you might have lost track of or gotten so busy that you weren't pouring time and attention into, or the relationships that you're realizing are so pivotal and important to your life, and recommitting to the way you show up in those, just like the full moon shows up for us. So I encourage you to let the light of the full moon illuminate what is working for you and amplify your intentions and actions in those areas by getting even more clarity, even more understanding about the most aligned ways to move forward in your life. And on the opposite side of that coin, we can also allow ourselves to have more clarity about what is not working under the light of the full moon, what's not serving you, or what you're ready to let go of. And the full moon can help with deep release. And really, this is directly connected to and aligned with the emotional work that you would have potentially done in the dark moon or the new moon cycle. By the time that we reach the full moon, we are ready to release, sweep it all away, clear out what's not serving us. Release can include things like letting go of bad habits or stress and negative energy. It can be letting go of negative patterns or negative self talk, even. It can be clearing out old emotions or an old way of greeting our emotions or the happenings of our life. Even sometimes releasing people or situations we have outgrown. It can even be where we're willing to release our own illusions or fears or anything at all we are ready to let go of. The full moon can support us by being in her light. This full moon phase is considered a manifestation point where all the work we've done through the rest of the month can be fully activated or charged, it's often said, and come to the light to reach a turning point or to help us reach a new level. If you think of the moon as representing our emotions and intuition, and imagine it like a cup, the moon and water in symbology often have a lot of the same meanings, and the moon is about emotion. So if you think of the moon's energy like the moon is a cup, when she's full, that is when the cup is full and spilling over. So some people feel even more emotional or more aware of emotions at the full moon. Some people feel their spiritual gifts are a bit stronger at the full moon. You can even track yourself with this over time just for fun. More on this later. It is the ripening of all the emotions and energy since that dark new moon phase part of the cycle when we were going within. And the energy of the full moon is very, even though it's bright and shining and out front, it's also like romantic and relaxed and like hair down, open heart, flowing and overflowing abundance, but also can be about themes of revelation and liberation. Here is the work that you may have heard of with the full moon. And then I'm going to talk about how to kind of track it in your own work if you're a spiritual practitioner. And then we're going to dive into the very practical and fun menu of how you can work with the energy of the full moon. So, have you ever heard of people, the way it's often said is quote unquote, charging crystals or charging water to make moon water or to bless and consecrate crystals in the full moon. Well, here is what that actually means and why you might want to do this top layer of spiritual work. Spoiler alert, once you hear this, hopefully you will recognize and realize that the full moon is not the only time you can do this type of work with water or crystals. Just putting that out there. Crystals, for example, are taken by people that work with them often and put in the light of the full moon. Now, this can be outside if it is a type of crystal that's not porous, because remember, at night in most places it gets a little damp, or yeah, that's when moisture creeps in, and some crystals are not safe around water. They need to stay dry. They're more porous. Selenite is one of those, which is a working moonstone, actually. Like Selene, we talked about last time from Greek mythology. Most practitioners will actually put their stones or crystals in a place that is actually inside. So if you have a table that's near a window, or sometimes people have like a little mudroom or a little front porch area that's a little more protected from the elements. But the truth is, they don't even have to be directly under the light of the full moon, because we're all in the energy of the full moon, even if, like, it's a cloudy night or it's a storm, or you don't happen to have a window that faces the side that the moon is on. And the other thing I always like to mention when I talk about working with the moon is we always think about the moon at night, which, of course, is when, especially the full moon, is most visible and most beautiful. But the moon is available during the day. She is there. Have you ever gone outside, especially at the full moon, and seen like a full moon in the clear blue daytime sky? I definitely have. So you can do this also in a daytime if that's just what works better for your schedule. This should fit with you and feel easy and fun. So, many people find it beneficial to put the crystals in this moonlight so that it clears the energy from the crystal, kind of an energetic washing of the energy to release and bless and be refilled by the moon energy. Because often people are working with crystals, right? So the full moon light can provide an energy reset, for example. Crystals absorb energy from their environments. So if you have a crystal just hanging out in your office or your home, it does absorb energy from the happenings around it. Some people actually work with crystals in their work, either by wearing them themselves or placing them on or around other people. And they do pick up or absorb that energy. So putting them in the full moonlight can kind of do a cosmic reset, a clearing, a washing of that energy from those stagnant emotional vibrations that linger in the stones themselves. And it can be crystals like we think. If you're watching the video version, I've got a really beautiful crystal on my desk behind me, but it could also be just regular stones. Most of you know by now, if you've been here for any length of time, I don't just love crystals. I also love like different usual and unusual stones, like little rocks that I have found across my path along the course of my life. If you do any type of work or holding with them, even if it's like a pocket stone, you can clear that energy under the light of the full moon. Nothing bad will happen if you don't, just reminding you. Another reason that you might want to put crystals in the full moonlight is amplification, because the moon represents the highest energetic peak of the full lunar cycle when it's the full moon, which a lot of practitioners believe kind of supercharges the crystal's natural metaphysical properties. So, most crystals, if you look them up on Google or if you've been here and we've talked about them, they have specific properties that they are known or thought to support with in our own work and human experience. And while it will clear the stagnant energy or the emotional people energy out of the crystal, it also kind of again magnifies and returns them to full strength of their own qualities that they represent in that specific stone. So it's a lot of fun to work with them. And another thing you can do with that energy of the full moonlight is like aligning the crystals or stones to your particular intention. So the full moon can really charge crystals, not just with their own energy, but with a specific intention. Maybe it's that you're trying to complete something and you're wanting to come to completion. Maybe it's about illumination and more wisdom coming to light for you, or really working with trying to be very connected, to be aware for your intuition when it's nudging in, you can put those intentions either just like by holding the stone in your hand and saying or putting your emotion of that intention, or you can even write it on a little paper and put the crystal or stone on top in the full moonlight, and that will charge it with that intention. So that is why people do it with crystals.